Breaking news! All eyes are on Pittsburgh this offseason, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The Steelers have stacked their roster with headline names like Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Slay. On paper, it looks like a powerhouse. But dig just a little deeper, and you'll see something that should have every Ravens fan on high alert. Not because it's threatening, but because it reeks of desperation. And one key voice from Rodgers' own past is warning us, this might be a ticking time bomb in Pittsburgh. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," to let the world know where your loyalty stands. Let's get into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as much as it hurts to admit, made noise this offseason. They didn't just grab talent, they grabbed big names. Aaron Rodgers, at 40 years old, headlines their revamped offense. DK Metcalf, a physical marvel at receiver, was added via trade. On defense, they went out and landed both Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, creating what many are calling a dream team secondary. Sounds great, right? Not so fast. Brady Papinga, a former linebacker who played alongside Rodgers in Green Bay, made a statement that should shake the confidence of every black and gold believer. He pointed to a visible shift in Rodgers' demeanor on the field last season, specifically his hesitance under pressure. According to Papinga, it's not about toughness anymore, it's about biology. Rodgers' body is starting to betray him. He's flinching more, looking at the rush instead of downfield, and most importantly, he's lost that improvisational magic that defined his prime years. This isn't just speculation. It's backed up by performance. When Rodgers was sacked 2 or fewer times in games last year, his team still had a losing record. When sacked 3 or more times, an abysmal 1-7. And let's be real, he's going from one bad offensive line to possibly an even worse one. Pittsburgh ranked 24th in sacks allowed, 28th in sack percentage, and 21st in pressure rate. They were bad, and they lost their starting left tackle Dan Moore Jr., a player who wasn't even performing well but was at least a known entity. Now they have to replace him. Meanwhile, let's not forget that Rodgers missed significant time due to injuries in 2024. Torn Achilles, grade 2 hamstring pull, low ankle sprain, MCL knee sprain, it's a laundry list. At his age, those injuries don't heal the same way. Even when he was healthy last year, his game didn't reflect it. And the biggest concern of all? The offense he's stepping into is wildly unproven. DK Metcalf is a true threat, but beyond that, you're looking at guys like Robert Woods, Calvin Austin III, and rookie Roman Wilson. Do you trust them to carry the load? Because if Rodgers can't extend plays anymore, he's going to have to rely on these receivers to get open quickly, and that's not something they've shown they can do consistently. Steelers fans might claim they'll just run the ball and lean on defense. Again, let's look at the numbers. In 2024, they ranked 25th in yards per play, 23rd in stuff percentage, and 25th in EPA per rush. This is not a team built to dominate on the ground. And as for the defense, sure, they added stars, but Minkah Fitzpatrick is gone, and chemistry takes time. All of this leads us to one glaring question. Are the Steelers better? Yes, but are they actually good enough to matter in January? To make a deep playoff run? Or even to survive a brutal AFC North schedule? And more importantly, are we really supposed to fear a 40-year-old quarterback behind a shaky line throwing to mid-tier receivers? Because here's where it gets even more fascinating. While Steelers fans are busy convincing themselves that a 40-year-old quarterback and a shiny new set of defensive backs are the answer, the Baltimore Ravens have been quietly building something far more dangerous. And no, it's not just about Lamar Jackson's MVP-caliber playmaking or the consistency of our offensive line. It's about the pass rush. It's about the defense. It's about how this team is fixing the one glaring issue that cost them when it mattered most: pressure. Let's rewind to that heartbreaking playoff loss against Buffalo. The numbers don't lie. Just 6 quarterback pressures, 1 sack, a pressure rate of only 26%. That's not going to cut it. Not in January, not against top-tier quarterbacks. And it certainly didn't against Josh Allen. But the response from the Ravens wasn't to panic. It wasn't to throw money at washed-up names. It was to evaluate, upgrade, and evolve. Enter the reinforcements. First, Adisa Isaac. This guy is a freak athlete out of Penn State who didn't get to show his skills in 2024 due to injury, but his combined performance speaks volumes. Elite vertical, elite shuttle, elite broad jump, and a 4.74 40-yard dash for a pass rusher? That's absurd. This isn't just depth. This is a high-ceiling weapon being added to a rotation that already got results last season. Then, the Ravens struck gold in the draft with Mike Green. He fell to pick number 59, an absolute steal. And coincidentally, he posted 59 pressures last season for Marshall, along with 17 sacks and 23 tackles for loss. If there's a player to be excited about, It's this one. The production is elite. The motor is nonstop. The ceiling? Through the roof. Add that to what we already have. Kyle Van Noy, double-digit sacks. Odafoa, finally breaking through and living up to his draft potential, adding 20 pounds of muscle and still moving like a gazelle. This is no longer a group that hopes for sacks. It's a unit built to dominate. Last season, the Ravens recorded 54 sacks, second most in the NFL. But here's the kicker. Their pass rush win rate was only 33%, dead last in time to pressure. That means even with those sack totals, there was still room for major improvement. And that's exactly what they addressed. Zach Orr and Eric DeCosta didn't just identify the problem, they acted. They added power. They added speed. They added youth. And perhaps most importantly, they added accountability. These players are taking it personally. Odafoa didn't just show up for camp, he showed up transformed. Adissa Isaac rehabbed like a madman to get back on the field. The hunger is real. Now, think about what this means when they face Pittsburgh. A weak offensive line, a quarterback who's lost his mobility, a receiver group that isn't scaring anyone outside of DK Metcalf. If you think Baltimore isn't licking its chops at the chance to disrupt Aaron Rodgers, you're not paying attention. This Ravens front is built to create chaos. And when Rodgers starts flinching, looking at the rush instead of scanning the field, the turnovers will come. The mistakes will pile up. The narrative will flip. It's not about age, it's about pressure. And right now, there's no unit better prepared to bring the heat than the Baltimore Ravens. And that storm? It's not just brewing, it's inevitable. Because the Ravens aren't just relying on talent, they're building synergy, chemistry, and confidence at every level of the defense. And unlike Pittsburgh, they're doing it with youth, hunger, and smart coaching rather than throwing Hail Mary trades at aging superstars. Let's look at the bigger picture here. The AFC North has always been a slugfest, but 2025 could be the most volatile we've seen in a long time. The Bengals are hoping Joe Burrow stays healthy, the Browns are gambling everything on Deshaun Watson bouncing back, and the Steelers? They're praying that the Fountain of Youth has a branch office in western Pennsylvania. But meanwhile, in Baltimore, there's a plan. There's structure. There's a culture that's built on physicality, accountability, and relentless preparation. And it all starts up front. Because let's be honest, if you can't protect your quarterback in this division, you're not going anywhere. The Ravens understand that. And now, they're ready to capitalize. They know Aaron Rodgers is no longer the elusive wizard he once was. Gone are the days of rolling right and launching 50-yard bombs off his back foot. Those highlights are in black and white now. Today, he's a quarterback with a shaky knee, a rebuilt Achilles, and a rapidly shrinking window of mobility. And that's exactly where Baltimore will attack. Imagine lining up Mike Green, Adissa Isaac, Odafoa, and Kyle Van Noy in a NASCAR package on 3rd and long. That's speed, power, and versatility coming at you from all angles. That's not just pressure, it's punishment. It's forcing mistakes. It's hitting quarterbacks so hard they start making business decisions. And Rodgers, as Brady Papinga said, is already starting to flinch. Remember the stats. When Rodgers was sacked 2 or more times in a game last season, his team was 1-7. That's not just a trend, it's a red flag. And now he's behind a worse offensive line, with less chemistry, fewer reliable targets, and more pressure than ever to deliver in what might be his final season. You think Baltimore doesn't see that? You think Roquan Smith doesn't have that circled? You think Justin Matabike isn't itching to remind the league that his breakout year was just the beginning? And let's not forget about the chess master behind it all.